BCAP, you're very critical of quarterbacks that can't stay on the field. Not everyone's built to play professional football or just any professional sport. The amount of wear and tear, the toll on your body is incomprehensible to most physically. Baker Mayfield can't stay on the damn field. The last 2 years, he has been awful, and that's through injuries. So I want to know for you, are you any more out on Baker, given he's had all these injury issues in the last couple of years, the pec, the shoulder, now it's the ankle, there's a knee somewhere in there as well. It's just one thing after another.
No concern whatsoever. It's not his fault he's getting injured. I mean, there's the O-line. It's his fault he's getting injured?
But Tua had a terrible offensive line. You held that against him last year. You weren't blaming on the offensive line in Miami.
Okay, but Tua's had a history of being injured and not being able to go on the field. Baker played. Baker played the whole season last year. You act like Baker missed time. He played the whole season. He played through an ankle sprain
to his team's demise.
Okay, but still he played. You're acting like he didn't play. He played through the injury, though. Yes, there's injury concerns, but he's playing through the injury, is what I'm saying. And yes, he didn't play well the last season and this season, but again, the injury to his shoulder was caused by him going for a tackle, and then this one was caused by two linemen basically kind of high-lowing him. It could happen to any player. It's not like it's happening every drive. He's getting up and he's like, oh, grimacing and oh, like that. That's not what's happening right now. It's one thing that's happening. I don't see injury concern.
Daniel Jones is playing through injury and winning games. That's the bottom line.
Okay, but the fact that you're saying, I mean, the fact that the reports are saying he'll be back in a couple weeks, and the initial report from Mac Jones, which I guess they're similar injuries, high ankle sprains. Mac Jones was said to be out like 6 to 8 weeks. Baker's is a couple weeks, his report. Again, goes to the testament of Baker not really being injury prone. He'll be back as fast as he possibly can.
And last year, he was missing no time. He was awful. He was one of the worst, if not the worst starter in the entire league. So sure, Baker's going to do everything he can to get back in a contract year, but it's not helping his teams. It is the issue. The Browns are a contender. They have been. Last year, they missed the playoffs because of Baker getting injured and playing like crap. This year,
just Baker, though, right?
Yes.
Nobody else was injured. Nobody else was injured on that team.
They were still able to run for 100 plus yards with Ernest Johnson, and their receiving core is very good until they had to move on from Odell because he couldn't work with Odell.
Okay.
You know, his stock dropped so low in these first 5 games with the Panthers, so much that next season he's
a backup.
He's a backup. Yeah, he's going into free agency just looking for anybody that's willing to take him on to stand behind somebody.
You look at
he'll be holding a clipboard.
Look at Ryan Tannehill. He had an incredible run in 2019, much like Baker did in 2020, when comeback player of the year. Now we're looking at Ryan Tannehill as a low-level bridge quarterback. Right. Daniel Jones right now is winning games. We're looking at him as a bridge quarterback.
Don't say we. Don't group me in we. I never looked at Ryan Tannehill as nothing, and I never look at Daniel Jones as nothing. Like, don't group we. I don't get caught up in these recency biases like you two do. I'm not going to do.
Yeah, but even the 2 seasons for Ryan Tannehill were better than anything that Baker's put up.
Okay.
Is
he a better quarterback than Baker? I'd say so.
I would say so.
I don't think so.
Tannehill's steady. I can know what I'm getting from him week to week. With Baker, I have really no idea.
That's not true at all. We've seen multiple times Ryan Tannehill fall apart.
Yeah, but we know his limitations. We already know that.
Okay, but you guys are talking like you know Baker's limitations too. So what are we talking about here?
I mean, he's showing us new lows.
And what year is Tannehill in again? How many years has he been in the NFL?
Yeah, he's been in the league for a while.
A decade?
Yeah. How many years has Baker been in the league?
5.
All right, then.
I mean, I don't think it really proves much what you just said.
How does that not prove much? He's had a much longer career to pan out. So you're looking at all that. Baker's had 5 years in the NFL so far. And again, Ryan Tannehill's resurgence was because of what? Ryan Tannehill started playing better, or was it the coaching staff around him?
I thought he was on a much better team. He was no longer being coached by Adam Gase.
Where's Baker gone? Where's Baker on right now?
Yeah, but at the same time, Baker went from Cleveland, he was in a perfect situation.
No, stop. Because you're
No. It was a perfect
spot.
situation.
Perfect.
And the only person that ruined his situation
Go ahead.
was him.
Yeah. Oh, him. So we had this conversation last week. Again, we're gonna do this again. Play revenge.
No. But it's the fact. If he's not consistent, nobody's gonna like.
Time out.
He lost to Chad Henne in a playoff game, so the Browns were saying, okay, he lost to Chad Henne in a playoff game, and the Browns
Henne played like 2 drives, and you're saying he lost to Chad Henne.
Well, you say games get won in the final minute. That's what Baker does. If he wins games and he's clutch when it matters, he could have beat him.
You're saying Chad Henne won the game when he played 2 drives.
The point being, he could not get done for the Browns. He was the limiting factor in that offense.
I want to ignore that point. Again, why do I have to keep doing this and bring this up to you guys? Like, you act like
you sound like a broken record. We know.
No, you guys sound like the broken record because you ignore everything that's happened and just focus on that part.
Not every quarterback gets what Baker got. He had the entire 9 yards.
So it's all
They're
Baker's
say,
fault.
Oh, the franchise didn't believe.
Time out. No, because I'm done with John right now because I understand where John stands. Justin just came out for no reason because last week he was not seeing what John was saying, but now this week he's completely flipped and he's now on. It was completely Baker's fault in Cleveland, and he was solely.
I'm not saying it was completely Baker's fault. I literally said that things went south because of him.
That's what I'm saying. You're solely
his personality, his situation was all his doing.
So let me ask you this: if he doesn't get injured and they play well, is he gone?
Probably not, but I still believe they're looking for somebody else.
The season before that, I've never seen this before. So we had one
I don't feel like Cleveland saw after year 2. I'm going to say after year 2. I think there were legit concerns from Cleveland front office about whether or not this is the guy. And while yes, he put up a great year 3, that was an incredible year 3.
It wasn't incredible. It was.
Well, I'm saying for the team. For the team,
it was.
The team had a nice season.
For him personally,
it was.
And when you go into year 4,
21,
you've already been
3 interceptions is not great.
Listen, he's already been, I guess, a headache to front office.
See, you're saying that I don't believe that he has been a headache to the front office. I believe the front office really just I don't know. Maybe they didn't vibe with his personality. But I feel like they gave up on him way too soon. I feel like this is a guy who came in his rookie season, like I've stated before, won 7 games for a team. And I was correct on you before, John. We were talking about this and you recorrected me, but I was actually correct. They went 0-16 the season they got Baker. They went 1-15 the season before that. So they were 1-30-1 in the last 2 seasons. Baker comes in, gets benched as the number 1 overall quarterback for Tyrod freaking Taylor, Hugh Jackman or Jackson, whatever the hell his name is, made that decision, gets benched. Wins 7 games for his rookie season. All right. So this team hadn't won. This team won 1 game in 2 seasons, and he goes out and wins 7 freaking games for them. His rookie year. We're going to ignore that. Second season has a down year. Freddie Kitchens is in, a new OC, a new head coach. Goes into his 3rd year, has the best season of his career with Kevin Stefanski. I think it's 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. They go on that 8-3 run, all those things or whatever. They beat the Steelers, and then they are a couple of mistakes away from beating the Chiefs and going to the AFC Championship game. Again, we're going to ignore that. Then we go to year.
Are we going to ignore that he came in the same time as 2 All-Pros and Denzel Ward and Nick Chubb?
I'm pretty sure, John, that you have said specifically. I'm pretty sure that you have said specifically that quarterbacks need things surrounding them. So now we're going to hold it against Baker that he has people surrounding him.
I'm acknowledging the fact he had a great team.
No, but I want consistency.
His second year is that great. He had consistency and he missed the playoffs with consistency.
Okay, so I want you to evaluate Josh Allen's first 2 years the same exact way you're evaluating Baker's, because it's the same thing. He had the terrible 2 first seasons. All right. Baker had a much better rookie season than him. And then he gets Stephon Diggs, and you want to discount that. So I want consistency. Right now, I want consistency. Hold it up. Why is Josh Allen more successful now? Because of Stephon Diggs. You won't hold that against him, but you want to hold the Baker and 2 All-Pros and those guys coming in. Did Baker and Odell connect really well? Actually, I'm sure Baker went on that run, and the Browns went on that one when Odell went down. Is that not a fact? That is a fact.
That's probably partially on the quarterback, the guy that's throwing the football.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to blame Baker solely. I don't blame Baker and I don't blame Odell solely. I blame them equally that they didn't mesh and it wasn't a good partnership. That's what I believe. But you want to believe just Baker because I like Baker. And so you now have to have your agenda of you have to attack Baker at all costs because I'm putting him up a little bit. But that's fine. Go ahead, John.
The reason we get into these 15-minute Baker Mayfield debates is not because I have an agenda against him. It's because you're delusional when it comes to Baker Mayfield. Josh Allen is a better quarterback as consistently he has put up MVP caliber seasons. Baker Mayfield has one good run, much like a Ryan Tannehill had in 2019 or in 2016 when he brought the Dolphins to the playoffs, and he has 2 crap years since. When you look at the last 2 years, what has happened recently, he has been one of, if not the worst quarterback in football. Baker's name ring. He's a high character guy with a great story, and people love him for his incredible turnaround as a walk-on at where was Texas Tech and so on and so forth. But in the NFL, he's just not that good of a quarterback. And I know he's a name ring, he's exciting, and he had a tantalizing run on a great team where ultimately he was the limiting factor. But you have to acknowledge the fact he played a key role in the Browns' downfall. I'm not saying it was all his fault. Nobody is. But he was the biggest reason why. His inability to bring them over the top at the highest levels. That's it.
And you know, and you say, oh, so we just forget about his rookie season. Oh, we just forget about year 3. But it's not what you did for me then. It's what are you going to do for me now? What are you giving me now? And if you're not that same quarterback that you were in year 3, you're not bringing that same type of impact that you brought in year 1. And you scoff at it, but it's true.
I'm scoffing at the fact, again, you're forgetting the most important thing is that the guy played with a torn labrum and a fractured shoulder. Like again, we're ignoring these things. I guess.
Okay, but what about this year?
All right, so no, that's what I want to say. That's fine. This year is fine. That I have stated before. Again, you're trying to come at me like I haven't stated. I stated.
No, I'm not. It's just,
I tweeted it out and I said Baker has not played this well this season. I said that. Okay. But what you guys are going to do is going to sit here and ignore the injuries, which is fine. If that's what you're going to do, that's fine. I'm going to take note of that. And I want you to keep that same consistency going forward as we do this show. When somebody is injured, I'm going to bring this up to you and you have no argument or rebuttal back because you're using that and you're ignoring that fact. So I just want consistency. That's all. Going forward, I want consistency.
No. Listen, you know what? I don't care. I don't care about Cleveland Baker. I don't. And nor should any of us. Because guess what? Cleveland Baker doesn't exist anymore. It's Carolina Baker. And yes, he's regressed. So yes, he played with an injury. I understand that. Now he's in Carolina and he's healthy and he's playing terrible football. So now the real concern is this Baker? Is this him?
I don't believe so.
So then please answer this. What is real Baker? Is real Baker going to show up next year or maybe 4 or 5 games from now whenever he comes back? Or is that it? Because at this point, I don't know what to expect from Baker. I can't say we're going to get year 3 Baker.
I can answer that only because this is what I will answer it with because I don't know. It's TBD. TBD, because I have no idea what the future holds. I don't know what I don't know what Steve Wilkes, I believe that's his name, the new interim head coach for the Panthers. I don't know if he maybe provides a nice spark for this Panthers team. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know. Do they trade CMC? Do they trade DJ Moore? Do they literally blow up the whole team? So now what does Baker even have to work with when he comes back? He's even got less than what he was before when you guys have said, and I said he's playing not very good. And then next season you say, well, what are his options? You said that he's going to be a backup quarterback next year. So is he even going to get a chance to show that he can, make a comeback and have a rebirth type thing? I don't know. Maybe he has to hope for an injury. TBD.
It just feels like this Carolina train is going nowhere fast, and they need to. I think they really need to just rip up shop.